Chapter 17. Where the heck is she? The year that I turned 11, Daddy decided that we needed a basement. Midwestern United States is known as Tornado Alley, and there are lots of storms in the summertime. We had a big backyard and plenty of room for a basement. Daddy went to the southwest corner of our house, just outside the storage room, and dug a hole that would become a cellar. He dug the hole by hand with a shovel. At 9 years old, my brother Tommy wanted to help him, so out he went with his little shovel and pail. After a while, my sisters Phyllis and Lonetta and I decided that it looked like fun, so we were out there too. We brought big spoons and bowls out of Mama's kitchen. It soon became more of a flinging mud at each other game than actually helping Daddy dig the basement hole. Daddy didn't care. He was happy for the company. When Daddy was finally satisfied with the hole, it was 6 feet by 10 feet and 9 feet deep. He called it a Frady hole. He made the walls out of cement blocks laid together with cement mortar between them. For convenience and his cement needs, Daddy kept a 30-gallon bag of cement open on the floor of the garage just outside the dining room. In order to get into the cellar hole, Daddy dug a sloping ramp that began at the door coming out of the storage room at the back of the house. He dug gradually deeper and deeper down to the floor of the cellar. Then he formed and poured concrete steps down to the door of the storm cellar. His plan was to pour a large patio at ground level to cover the hole. Daddy spent weeks digging the hole and pouring concrete. At the same time, he was tending his garden and working at Boeing, so the cellar was coming together slowly. On July 4th that year, we had a concrete cellar and stairs without a roof on either of them. I always liked the 4th of July celebrations. I liked everything about it. One of my favorite parts was popping firecrackers. Daddy had given us $5 each to spend. In order to earn a little extra, Tommy and I walked out to the 2-mile corner hunting for pop bottles. They were glass bottles, and Ted Dewey at Mr. D's IGA paid us 3 cents each for them. Plus, I earned 35 cents per hour at an occasional babysitting job, so we had a little extra spending money that year. And I wanted to spend it all on firecrackers. Tommy and I walked up Main Street and bought as many firecrackers as we could afford. We took the firecrackers into our backyard. The best way to pop the firecrackers was to stand on the steps outside the kitchen and hold a firecracker in our fingers, then light the fuse with a punk. Once the fuse caught fire, we hurled the firecracker into the backyard, trying to time it so it would pop in midair. Our sister Lonetta liked to spend time with us, but she was afraid to pop the firecrackers herself. We let her hold the lighted punk while Tommy or I would stand close beside her, press the firecracker fuse to the punk, and then throw it. Sometimes we had to help her hold the punk still because her hand was shaking so badly. Here is the proper firecracker lighting technique. Hold a firecracker in one hand, light it with a punk, and then toss it as far as you can. Lonetta also liked those smoky ash snakes. We put them on the concrete steps going into the kitchen. Lonetta would light those for herself. Mama hated the snakes because of the ashy residue they left on the back steps. We tracked the ashes into her kitchen on our shoes. Our innocent fun usually segued into Tommy and me throwing lighted firecrackers at each other. When that fun started, Lonetta quickly backed away. On this July 4th, we got pretty loose and fast with our play. Tommy and I were moving so fast, running around the yard, Lonetta got really scared. We were really loud. Lonetta put both hands over her ears. She was standing beside the porch watching. Tommy and I kept lighting and throwing. She kept backing away from us, keeping her hands over her ears. All of a sudden, Lonetta disappeared. Tommy kept throwing firecrackers at me, and I tried to get him to stop, but he was having too much fun. I started yelling, "Where did Lonetta go? Where is she? Where's Lonetta?" I finally got Tommy's attention. He stopped lighting firecrackers. I went into the house hollering, "Lonetta, Lonetta, are you in here?" She wasn't. Mama was in the kitchen, and I asked her if Lonetta had run into the kitchen. Mama said, "No." Mama followed me outside. She immediately ran over to the concrete cellar hole. When we looked down into the hole, there was Lonetta, spread eagle, flat on her back on the hard concrete floor. She wasn't moving. I was scared. Mama ran over to the stairs to go down after her. Finally, Lonetta began to moan and move a little bit. Then she began to laugh. Apparently, the fall had knocked the wind out of her for a minute. We were lucky she wasn't hurt. Today, Lonetta is still scared of firecrackers, especially the noise. She still associates 4th of July with that fall. She was afraid of firecrackers before she fell, but even today she's reluctant to handle them. She wants to be around the celebration always, so we continue to light them for her. When her grandchildren were little, I would help them light their fireworks. Today, the grandchildren have grown into adults and have taken over firecracker duty. Lonetta holds a 4th of July celebration at her home on the Lake of the Ozarks. The young adults light fireworks and aerial displays from the dock on the lake. Lonetta sits uphill in her yard and shouts encouraging words down to the dock. She always helped with the fun by being the best cheerleader. I've been telling stories since the age of 3, and I'm happy to have published the books of my father, Max, brother Tommy, and sister Lonetta Slusser Knutson. All of our books are published through Amazon and Kindle. www.amazon.com/author/Donnis Crane.